District Attorney FANI Willis is in real trouble after she illegally recorded a phone conversation in order to get dirt on Trump for the Georgia case. She now faces potential fraud charges against herself. Donald Trump raised $50.5 million over the weekend, beating Biden's record by double. The CIA interfered with the Hunter Biden IRS investigation in order to keep the president's son from facing consequences. However, the CIA is now saying, trust us, we didn't do this. We only buried his laptop in order to help Joe Biden get elected, but we would never do that. Now, Zelensky of Ukraine tries to shame and scare U.S. Congress in order to get his hands on more American taxpayer money. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out, so thank you so much. I also want to thank today's video sponsor, Body Boost, and I'll tell you more about them later in this broadcast. Over the weekend, former President Donald Trump absolutely smashed Joe Biden's one-day fundraising record, while Biden and Barack Obama and Clinton brought in a record $25 million. They shamed Broke Don for not being able to raise money. Well, over the weekend, he raised $50.5 million. The event was hosted by billionaire businessman John Paulson. During the event, some donors paid as much as $800,000 to sit at the table with Donald Trump. Now, this was mostly to help him break records, but ultimately they just want Joe Biden out of the White House. Now, Biden's attempt to rub this in Trump's face has backfired within less than 10 days. While Biden's campaign has $192 million on hand, Donald Trump now has $140 million, so he's catching up quickly. This just goes to show that the new leadership at the Republican National Convention is absolutely crushing it, almost as if Mitt Romney's niece, Ronna McDaniels, was purposely trying to keep Donald Trump from raising money. They were $8 million in debt under Ronna McDaniel, but now they're up over $50 million. This is absolute insanity. Now, following this success, Trump finally made a definitive statement regarding his stance on abortion, marking an end to the widespread speculation concerning his position on the matter ahead of the election. Through a video shared on Truth Social, Trump emphasized that abortion decisions need to be determined at the state level, highlighting his instrumental role in nominating Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe v. Wade. This landmark decision reversed 50 years of abortion rights at the federal level. Now, speaking to voters, Trump stated, "You must follow your heart on this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, save our country, which is currently and very sadly a nation in decline." Now, I understand that some wanted an abortion ban on a federal level, but Trump took this stance because he knows that if you don't win the election, it doesn't matter what states do. The Democrats will reverse this and create an even worse federal law on abortion. Now, from a strategic stance, I think he made the right decision. Even Sean Hannity has come out saying Trump is right. He would have lost the election if he took a hard stance, but by leaving it up to each state and the individual, he can win this election. However, Trump did voice support for abortion laws for rape, incest, and threat to a mother's life. Now, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Do you think that this was a wise move, or do you want Trump to pick a definitive number and stand by that? I would love to hear from you. I know that this is a touchy and emotional subject. I, for one, am pro-life. I believe in allowing babies the right to be born, but everyone has to make their own decision, right? And if we don't win, then the country is only going to get worse. And so I think that it was wise, but it was a really difficult decision So I can see why he took several weeks to think through it. Now, listen to this. Fulton County District Attorney FANI Willis is facing accusations of illegally recording a phone conversation with a colleague of Christopher Karachev, an attorney for Harrison Lloyd, who was part of Trump's 2020 campaign. During an interview, Kharkov alleged FANI Willis recorded the call without his consent in the state of Maryland. In Maryland, you require a two-party consent to all recordings, making this a felony charge against FANI Willis. This controversy adds to the scrutiny surrounding FANI Willis's conduct in the case against Donald Trump and his allies, leading for further calls to have her disqualified and removed from the case. Now, on FANI's side, she is now openly begging the appeals court not to disqualify her from the Donald Trump case. I think she believes the case will be delayed or never happen if she's disqualified. However, those with legal backgrounds speculate that her real worry is that she's going to be disbarred for lying, misusing funds, perjury, and now potentially illegally recording a call, which is a felony. But I'd like to know from you guys, do you think that she should be removed? I mean, how many times does she have to break the law in order to get Trump, whom she says broke the law? I think it's absolute craziness. The fact that she was breaking the law in order to get Trump just shows how low they will sink in order to keep him from getting into the White House. All right, now you guys may have noticed how much thinner my face is. I want to thank today's video sponsor, Body Boost by Brian. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to have more energy? Do you want to be healthier? I hope you haven't given up on your weight loss goals for 2024. You need to hire Coach Brian at Body Boost by Brian for guidance in order to meet your health goals. Now, losing weight has changed my life. I can feel it. I'm sleeping better. I'm not snoring. I feel less swollen and I'm not overeating. Plus, I've been holding myself accountable and moving more, which has helped with my weight loss. Now, under Brian's app and coaching, I feel I can finally reach my weight loss and health goals. I tried for close to a year on my own. I felt hopeless. I continued to gain weight, but now I'm losing that weight because I hired a coach and I built new healthy habits. So I want you guys to visit Brian's website, bodyboostbybrian.com, down below to start feeling better. Again, that's Body Boost by Brian to learn about his 6-week program for losing weight. Maybe you've tried to lose weight just like me, but once I hired Brian, I started losing the weight right away. Again, I'm going to make sure to leave that link down below. Now, check this out. The Department of Justice is pursuing prison charges against Amy Harris. Who is she? She is a woman who stole the diary of President Biden's daughter, Ashley Biden. The diary was originally obtained by Harris in 2020 after Ashley Biden accidentally left it in a house in Delray Beach, Florida. Now, assuming the diary was unedited, it contained claims of probably not appropriate shower time with her father, Joe Biden, her abuse of drugs, and insight into other family issues. Now, the Department of Justice has verified that this diary is true, and it does talk about Biden showering with her up until a much older age where she says it was inappropriate. The Department of Justice, at Biden's request, is now trying to throw her in prison for exposing the diary, but they're saying none of this is true. I mean, honestly, my question is, what is with the Biden children leaving important and damning artifacts behind that prove your family commits crimes? I mean, my goodness, this is a pattern. Absolute craziness. Leslie Krenzel, thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Did you guys know about this Ashley Biden diary story? I read about it several years ago and then it kind of disappeared. And now it's come out and it just kind of gives me the ick. Okay, now You know the government lies to you, right? They're trying it again. The CIA has officially denied claims made by a whistleblower that they intervened on the Department of Justice from investigating Hunter Biden's lawyer, Kevin Morris. The CIA stated, without confirming or denying the existence of any association or communication, the CIA did not prevent or seek to prevent the IRS or DOJ from conducting any such interview. So we're not saying we did, we're not saying we didn't, because we're not acknowledging that Hunter Biden was being investigated. But if he was, we certainly did not intervene, and we did not block and protect him and his lawyer. Absolute craziness. Now, following the denial, Democrat Representative Jamie Raskins criticized Republicans for continuing to make accusations without naming their source. But the whole point of a whistleblower is to be anonymous while something is investigated, or to protect them if they decide not to be anonymous. But let me know in the comments, do you believe the CIA? If you do, I want you to write yes. And if you don't, like me, I want you to write no. I mean, these guys literally lied and covered up the Hunter Biden laptop knowingly. They literally robbed Trump of his reelection so that they could get Joe Biden in. It's 100% proven. Like, this is not conspiracy. There's no tinfoil hat, even though, I have this Terminator that is aluminum. No tinfoil hat here. It was proven that the CIA colluded to get Trump out and get Biden in. And now they're saying, okay, listen, we did not intervene to protect Hunter Biden from the IRS and from the Department of Justice. That's conspiracy theory. Absolutely crazy. I don't trust these guys one bit. And you know what? They're not even supposed to be operating on native soil. They're supposed to be screwing everyone else over around the world. Crazy. All right, now, Israel's defense forces announced on Sunday that they are withdrawing from southern Gaza, heeding a demand from President Joe Biden for an immediate ceasefire. This development follows a tragic incident where the IDF mistakenly killed 7 World Kitchen aid workers, mistaken for Hamas terrorists. While these terrorists have been known to disguise themselves and their vehicles, this attack was carried out without enough evidence. Now, following the withdrawal, Hamas claimed victory. However, Israel is keeping a brigade in Gaza for a potential re-entry and targeted operations. In the end, it looks like Biden had the ultimate say over what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says and what Israel does. So, in a way, he saved Israel by betraying Israel. And so this attack on Rafah is not going to happen. At least that's what they're publicly saying. We'll see what ends up happening. Now, the world's perception of Israel was getting so bad that even Donald Trump said, Netanyahu, you got to end this war. And former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who has always stood with Israel, betrayed Israel and told Biden, I will not allow you to send any more weapons to our allies. Now, I predict that this is not the end of the story. I'm going to be following up on this story, but there's a lot going on. There was a lot of behind the scenes pressure in order to get Israel to change their behavior and basically bow down to the United States of America. Now, as this Israeli war in Gaza seems to be nearing an end, the Ukraine-Russia war has no end in sight. Even though Ukraine hasn't received a sizable taxpayer-funded package from America in a long time, they continue to be pummeled by Russia, sadly. Now, Zelensky stated it is necessary to specifically tell Congress that if Congress does not help Ukraine, Ukraine will lose the war. And if Ukraine loses the war, other states will be attacked. Now, this decision has ultimately led to House Speaker Mike Johnson abandoning America's border to more fully investigate Zelensky's words about Ukraine's border. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I don't for a minute believe Vladimir Putin has plans to attack any other countries, certainly not any NATO countries. I think Zelensky is spreading lies in order to get American taxpayer money. But I think most Americans want this war to end. Now, as always, for the last 20 months, my heart has gone out to the people of Ukraine. But this war is over, and this is now a humanitarian crisis. All right, now speaking of wars, get this. Remember the Twitter files here in America? Well, the new fascist government of Brazil, led by Lula, is launching an online war against Elon Musk and Twitter. A judge in Brazil has labeled Elon Musk a criminal because he won't bow down to Brazil's anti-free speech laws. Now, the government of Brazil is desperately trying to control speech on Twitter Brazil in order to give President Lula's presidency a positive narrative. You know, like when Joe Biden's government was busted for manipulating and threatening the previous controllers of Twitter to make him look good and to control the data you and I were getting about COVID. They lied to us. And now Brazil is trying to use their government in order to control their citizens. Well, Elon Musk is saying he would rather close Brazil, Twitter Brazil, and make no money rather than bow down and remove the freedom of speech from hundreds of millions of Brazilians on Twitter. Now, let me know in the chat. I want to hear from you, chat. Is Elon Musk brave or is this stupid? One man stands between Brazilians getting the truth, having freedom of speech, being able to know what their government is doing, or he could bow down and allow the presidency of Lula to be fascist and steamroll the Brazilian people. I agree with you. I'm looking over here. Brave, 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 brave. I agree. This guy has some serious cojones. I mean, he stands to lose billions and billions and billions of dollars standing up to the government of Brazil. But these guys are literally, they're using mafia tactics to intimidate the employees of Twitter in order to control the narrative against the president. It's absolutely disgusting. All right, now independent journalist Michael Schellenberger, the one that exposed the Twitter files here in the United States, is now exposing the Brazil Twitter files, where heads of state were canceled, blacklisted. They had their reach basically tamped down, and they've been threatening Twitter, saying that if you badmouth Lula, you'll be in trouble. But they wanted them to amplify bad-mouthing Bolsonaro. Now, this is a good reminder to all of us. Always question your government. Never believe your government. They lie to us with such ease. It's disgusting. It makes me want to throw up when I think about how the governments around the world lie to us, but especially the American government. It's absolutely disgusting to me. All right, now while we're on the topic of Elon Musk, he posted a tweet on Twitter proving that 42 of 50 states do not require ID to vote for the president of the United States. How on earth do we know who's voting in our elections if there's no voter ID? How do we know that we're having free and fair elections? The answer is we don't. We don't know who's voting. And now 10 million new illegal immigrants have come in, and one party and one party only is demanding that illegal immigrants be allowed to vote. Which party do you think that is? It's the Democrat Party. It's the party that's losing blacks and losing minorities and losing Hispanics. So what are they trying to do? They're desperately trying to replace those votes with illegal immigrants. But did you know that 42 out of 50 don't check people's IDs? I mean, heck, we just learned down in Georgia, in Fulton County, 147,000 votes never had their signatures verified. The truth is, we don't know if our elections are free and fair. We're only told by our government, of course they're free and fair. No, it's almost like the CIA is writing their copy. Oh, believe us. Why should you believe us? Because we told you to believe us. Wow, absolutely disgusting. They don't check for ID here in Maryland. Wow, okay. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. You guys, there's so much going on. I could go on and on and on, but I want to be respectful. Big time. How about FANI Willis committing fraud? Now it's a felony charge. I really hope they disqualify her. I really do. How about Donald Trump raising twice as much money as Joe Biden? The new RNC, these guys are kicking butt. They just teamed up with the team that has signed more new Republicans than any other group in history. And so, anyway, lots of big stuff going on. As you know, I'm a libertarian, but I typically vote conservative, but I am super anti-government and I am super anti letting the government steal our money through taxation. So I appreciate you guys joining me. I know many of you guys like Donald Trump. You're Republican. Maybe you don't like the fact that I'm a libertarian, but that's okay, because I believe in your freedom to like me or dislike me, trust me or not trust me. It's totally up to you guys. But I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by. And if I could, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I really appreciate you being in my community. Please give this video a like, hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 1.6 million amazing truth seekers. Hey, I love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you on the next video.